So today is new shoe day. So I bought these Sidi Zero Gore 2 shoes online. I put my cleats on there already. I'll take them for their first ride. And I'm upgrading from these Specialized Expert Pros that I've had for probably 7 years now. They've had thousands of miles on them. And these are actually a solid carbon sole on here. So these have no flex to them. These are probably on a stiffness scale of 12, whereas these are probably, I forget what the stiffness scale on these, but it's definitely not that stiff. But I'm going to be riding this in the winter time, so I need something warm, because these were just not cutting it last year and it got down to like 20 degrees. It's about 45 degrees out there right now. So one thing I did notice on these is that my Specialized Expert Pros, they use the actual BOA system. So this is an actual BOA brand. And I've used this for, I've never replaced this. You can replace them, but that's open. Push it down, ratchet it shut, it's closed, and you can pull it, and it just stays open. On Sidi's brand, Sidi kind of used their own technology here, where it's just kind of a lever, pulls up, and you tighten it and loosen it. There's two clips on the side here you gotta squeeze together, and it loosens it. And I gotta say, I don't really like that, because that means you have to hold it to loosen it up and pull, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt to do that. It's something worth noting that Sidi's website actually said I should be in a lot smaller shoe than this. When I took the measurements for the wall, it said it should be in like a 35 or 37, something like that. I went ahead and ordered the 41s. I tried them on inside. They seem to fit pretty good. Toes in the right place on these, and my old shoes are also size 41s. So I figured might as well go with the size I already know fits and works for me. It has worked for me for the past 7 years. And just make adjustments as needed, like return these, get a bigger pair, return and get a smaller pair if I needed to. These things are waterproof. The Sidis are waterproof. These are full ventilated. I remember someone saying in a video that these are vents. These are not vents. These just allow some more flex in there, and I'll show you with a flashlight. So I put the flashlight in here. You can see shines through the vents on these. On the Sidis, I'll do the same thing. Light inside, nothing. You don't see any light coming through. On these, there you go. So that's one thing you'll notice. And on the bottom of the Sidis, it has one drain. It's underneath the cleat, so it's completely covered from the wind, so you're not going to get air in through the bottom. On the Specialized Expert Pros, they actually have a vent in the front and in the middle on the bottom. These are going to continue to be my summer cycling shoes. I know you're not supposed to use them for as long as I have, but honestly, as long as they keep on going and don't give me any problems, I'm going to keep on using them. So I was kind of skeptical on the price of these. I paid about $300 for these. They're about $400 MSRP right now. You buy them from Sidi's website. I got them on sale on eBay on some sort of Black Friday deal or something like that. So I like the fact that these are actually leather on the front here. These are just kind of like a composite, but these are kind of meant to be aerodynamic, which I like that about these. But I was using these with overshoes last winter, and with hot hands, toe warmers, and on top of my foot in here, and I had to put sealskin covers on them, and that's not even to ride in the rain. If I rode them in the rain, I mean, you can pretty much forget riding in the rain and the cold with these, because they just let water in and let moisture build up. I'm going to try these out, but first I got to get them fitted first, get the cleat adjustment right, and then I'll go from there. And I can know is right off the bat, these are going to be a lot heavier than the Specialized Expert Pros. So if you're into super lightweight stuff, other road shoes would be good, but if you're looking for something to keep you warm, I'm going to test these out. It's going to get really cold. We're looking at the lows in the 20s right now and down to the teens. That's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So, in case all you guys are wondering. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get these set up and take it for a test ride. I'll let you know my first impressions. Okay, let's talk about my first impressions on the Sidi Zero Gore 2 shoes. Now, coming from the standard road shoe to something that covers your ankles, it definitely felt very foreign to me having this part over my ankles. I could definitely feel it like cupping the back of my foot, like the back of my Achilles tendon. So it was really weird feeling for me. I don't know, that would cause some issues down the line if I were to do a really long ride. But I did notice that the stack height on these is a lot taller than the stack height on regular road shoes. So I'm going to have to buy a new chain for my Velomobile to be able to use these, because on the Velomobile, the way you adjust the height, you can't adjust your seat back. You can adjust it back maybe like a millimeter or two, but the way you adjust your height in a Velomobile is you move the bottom bracket forward or backwards. You pretty much move the pedals forward or backwards to adjust it to your height. So since the chain is already pretty much maxed out on the on how tight it should be, I'm gonna have to buy a new chain or add some links. See if a bike shop has a few links I could throw in there, but probably just throw a new chain on there because it's winter time and it's almost been about 2,000 miles, so usually that's when I replace my chains anyway. So, but I did break out the scale so we can get a weight difference on these. Zeroed. I guess everyone wants to see it in grams, since that's what weighs cycling stuff in for some reason. So the Sidi shoes are 398 gram. Specialized Expert Pro, 252 grams. We'll weigh the other shoe. 395. It's like 10 grams off. No, it's 4 grams off. 399. 395. And Expert Pro is 252 grams. One thing I did notice about these shoes on the first ride is my left foot has some pain in it afterwards. Now, I don't know if I need to do a cleat adjustment for that, but it felt like it was coming from the outside right here. But according to Garmin, my power meter said I had 0 degree offset, so, and I had 0 millimeters offset on this one, and I had 2 millimeters offset on the right one, and the right one I felt like was looser than the left one, so I think maybe if I tighten up the right one, it'll put me at 0 millimeters offset on the pedals. And you really want 0 millimeter offset on the pedals so for efficient power transfer, so you're not like pushing down on the side of your foot like that and putting power through the pedals that way. I never had a problem with it before, but supposedly that's the working theory behind it. One thing I did notice, getting these off on the left foot, I'm right-handed, so that means I had to like reach over with my right hand and hold this while I try to fiddle with it to get it off. I guess you could just reach down with your left hand, but I'm predominantly right-handed, so I do everything with my right hand. They felt pretty warm. Again, it's only like 45 degrees outside. It's definitely warmer than what these would have been, especially as Expert Pros would have been out there. But again, these aren't directly exposed to the wind. They pretty much just have wind coming in behind my headlights on my Velomobile. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, so on my Velomobile, it's out here. So behind these headlights, there's little gaps here for air to flow in at. And there's also gaps under here where your feet can go down through it, that I get air in through. And that's what blows on my feet during the winter time and in the summertime, and on the back of my legs. And I'm also trying out another product, the Under Armour Base 4.0. And I'm wearing just those today. So, but initial impressions are these are a little tight around the bottom. I'm hoping that breaks in over time, but it's not cold enough out right now to tell if these are going to be good for winter cycling. So we'll have to test them in some colder temperatures and find out. But you can see these are probably 100 grams heavier, but these also have the cleat on them. Those don't, so they're probably within like 50 grams of each other. But again, these have a lot more material. They got insulation. They have Gore-Tex, which by its nature is heavy. But yeah, it's definitely got the padding in there. I noticed when I was looking up stuff online for the shoe, no one really showed how good the insulation is in there. So insulation, see that's a Gore-Tex in there. I get the focus. Yeah. So yeah, it's got that coating down there. Same on the other shoe. The tongue insulation starts all the way down there, kind of in that crease there. But overall, initial impressions are they're not a bad shoe. They're heavier. They feel awkward at first. They're definitely a lot more flexible than the Expert Pros. But then again, I expected that with a pretty much plastic sole. I mean, they say carbon infused, but yeah, it's basically like a plastic sole. I definitely felt it flexing in there as I pedaled, especially at my higher efforts that I was doing today. But for control, I tried to do Power Zone 2, which is where I usually ride in most of the time for training. That's where you want to ride. But yeah, that's my initial impressions of the Sidi Zero Gore 2s. Coming from the Specialized Expert Pros. Now, I probably would have bought another pair of these, but I don't think they make these anymore. At least not the way they used to. How these are all high quality. You know, these are probably $200 shoes when I bought them. And yeah, I just dropped. These are $297.99. For what I paid out the door for them. So, thanks for watching.